because he knew that one of the most prominent items on the agenda for the meeting would be the conference approving the disaffiliation and departure of 113 of the 958 United Methodist churches in South Carolina, churches that would be leaving the denomination. These churches were leaving over multiple issues, but primarily over the expectation that the United Methodist Church worldwide would soon change the church rules to allow for greater inclusiveness of LGBTQ persons in the life of the church. The rule changes would not force anyone to do anything against their own convictions, but it would put persons in fellowship with those who saw those issues from a different perspective. 113 churches last year, and certainly more this coming June, will say, we cannot remain in fellowship with those who feel differently from us about this issue and others. They have said we can no longer remain in the United Methodist Church. In other words, it was and continues to be a church divorce of sorts. Bishop Holston said that morning last June, before the conference started, he was feeling the sadness of this divide, and he was wondering how, in this upcoming session, Christian brothers and sisters would treat one another in the debate. He said early that morning he got the news that a staff member of the United Methodist Church in South Carolina at the conference level, who had been very sick with a very serious kidney disease, had gotten word overnight from MUSC, the medical university in Charleston, that a kidney had been located from an organ donor, and that she and her husband had just a short time to get to Charleston, about a 2-hour drive away. So they quickly gathered up their things and they set off on the trip. And just a short way into the trip, they stopped briefly at a convenience store. And on the way out of the parking lot of the convenience store, the husband accidentally drove over a curb and he busted out 2 tires beyond repair. Well, knowing that if they did not get to Charleston in a timely manner, that the wife would lose her chance of this new kidney and perhaps would lose her life. Well, with desperation written all over the husband's face, he was approached by a stranger in the parking lot of that convenience store. And hearing the story, the stranger pulled the keys to his car out of his pocket and he said, "Here, take my car. Get your wife to Charleston. I'll take care of your bill." So they exchanged keys and phone numbers, and the couple was on their way. Well, the wife made it in time to Charleston and successfully received her new kidney from a 15-year-old girl who had died in a car accident and had donated her 2 kidneys and her liver. When the husband got back to meet the stranger and exchange cars, he found that this stranger had taken his car to a tire shop and had 2 brand new tires put on the car. And the stranger said when he received the bill from the owner of the tire shop to whom he had taken the car, and he had told the owner of the tire shop the story, when he received the bill, the stranger said it was marked paid in full. Bishop Holston said that morning, knowing what he faced in that conference session, God gave him that story to remind him of what being a true follower of Jesus is all about. And what it looks like when the law of God is written on your heart. He said he told that story to the entire gathering before the vote was taken to approve the release of the 113 churches who wanted to leave. He said in that session there were no crosswords spoken that day on the floor of the conference. And the churches who left the denomination were released, yes, with sadness, but with a blessing spoken upon them. That, my friends, is what it looks like when the law of God is written on your heart. The cross of Calvary is what it looks like when the law of God is written on your heart. So our invitation this morning is to let God write his law on our hearts. A law Jesus summed up as being this: love the Lord your God with what? With all your heart and your strength and all your mind. And the second is equally important, he said. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.